Ra Ra was the god of the sun and the central force that kept the universe functioning. He represented light, creation, order, time, and the natural rhythm of existence. Egyptians believed Ra actively maintained reality rather than passively ruling it. Each day he traveled across the sky in his solar boat, bringing warmth and life to the land. Crops grew, rivers followed their cycles, and society functioned because Ra completed this journey. At night, Ra descended into the underworld, where his role became more dangerous. There he faced the serpent of chaos, Apep, who attempted to destroy the sun and end creation. Every sunrise was proof that Ra had defeated chaos once again. This daily cycle explained why the world continued despite constant threats. Ra was also a political god. Pharaohs claimed legitimacy by calling themselves sons of Ra, linking royal authority directly to cosmic order. Over time, Ra merged with other powerful gods, most famously becoming Amun-Ra. This reflected how Egyptian religion worked. Dominant gods expanded rather than disappeared. Ra was not just worshipped, he was the engine that kept existence stable. Osiris. Osiris was the god of death, resurrection, fertility, and moral order, and he defined how Egyptians understood the afterlife. His myth explained why death was not the end. Osiris was murdered by his brother Set, who dismembered his body and scattered the pieces across Egypt. This act symbolized chaos, betrayal, and the collapse of order. Through the devotion and magic of Isis, Osiris was restored and reborn, though he did not return to rule the living world. Instead, he became king of the underworld, presiding over the judgment of souls. Osiris introduced the idea that actions in life mattered after death. The dead were evaluated based on truth, balance, and moral behavior. For ordinary Egyptians, Osiris offered hope. He had died, been broken, and returned in a transformed state. This meant rebirth was possible for everyone, not just kings. Osiris turned death into a structured process rather than a final ending. Without him, the afterlife would have been chaotic and terrifying. With him, it became orderly, meaningful, and attainable. Isis. Isis was the goddess of magic, healing, protection, motherhood, and intelligence. Unlike gods who ruled through physical power, Isis ruled through knowledge and persistence. She was the most skilled magician among the gods, capable of restoring Osiris and protecting her son Horus from constant danger. Isis represented loyalty and endurance. She searched for Osiris's scattered body, reassembled him piece by piece, and used magic to bring him back. She then devoted herself to protecting Horus, using deception, strategy, and spells to outmaneuver stronger enemies. Isis showed that intelligence could overcome brute force. Over time, Isis became one of the most widely worshipped Egyptian gods. Her cult spread beyond Egypt into the Greek and Roman worlds, where she was seen as a universal protector and healer. Isis was important not only to royalty but to ordinary people seeking protection and hope. She embodied the belief that care, intelligence, and patience were forms of power that could shape both divine and human destinies. Horus. Horus was the god of kingship, the sky, and rightful rule. He symbolized authority that had to be defended, not simply inherited. Often depicted as a falcon, Horus represented vision, dominance, and control over the land below. Egyptian pharaohs were believed to be the living embodiment of Horus, ruling Egypt as his physical manifestation. Horus's defining myth was his long conflict with Set, who murdered Osiris. This struggle was not a single battle but a prolonged series of confrontations, trials, and challenges. Horus suffered losses, including the injury of his eye, but continued to fight for legitimacy. His eventual victory established the principle that rightful rule comes from endurance and justice. For Egyptians, Horus explained why kings ruled and why rebellion was dangerous. Order did not maintain itself. It had to be actively protected. Horus embodied stability achieved through struggle, making him essential to the political and religious structure of Egypt. Anubis. Anubis was the god of embalming, mummification, and the preparation of the dead. He guided souls from the world of the living into the afterlife and ensured funerary rituals were performed correctly. Anubis presided over the weighing of the heart ceremony, where a person's heart was measured against the feather of truth. Unlike Osiris, Anubis did not judge the dead. His role was preparation and protection. Without proper mummification and ritual care, the soul could not safely reach the afterlife. Anubis ensured that chaos did not interfere with this transition. His jackal form symbolized guardianship of cemeteries, as jackals were often seen near burial grounds. For ordinary Egyptians, Anubis was deeply personal. He was the god present at death, ensuring dignity and order. Without Anubis, the path to eternal life would collapse before judgment even began. Set. Set was the god of chaos, deserts, storms, violence, and disruption. He represented everything unpredictable and dangerous in the world. Set murdered Osiris and challenged Horus, threatening cosmic balance itself. Yet Egyptian religion never portrayed him as purely evil. Set also played a protective role. During Ra's nightly journey through the underworld, Set defended the sun god from the serpent Apep. This dual nature made Set necessary. Chaos could not be eliminated, only restrained and redirected. Set represented harsh realities: storms, barren lands, conflict, and destruction. These forces existed whether people wanted them or not. Egyptian belief acknowledged this by giving chaos a god and a role within the cosmic system. Without Set, order would have no opposition to define itself against. Thoth. Thoth was the god of wisdom, writing, mathematics, time, and knowledge. He invented language, measurement, and record-keeping, making civilization possible. Thoth acted as a mediator among the gods, resolving disputes through logic instead of violence. In the afterlife, Thoth recorded the results of judgment, ensuring accuracy and fairness. Nothing could be forgotten or miscounted. He represented the belief that truth must be documented to exist. Without records, laws could not function, and rituals could not be preserved. Thoth was essential because he maintained structure. He did not rule or conquer, but without him, systems would collapse into confusion. Egyptian civilization depended on continuity, memory, and order, and Thoth ensured that knowledge survived across generations. Amun-Ukrainian. Amun began as a local god associated with air and invisibility. His name meant the Hidden One. As the city of Thebes rose to power, Amun rose with it, eventually merging with Ra to become Amun-Ra, king of the gods. Amun represented unseen influence and authority without visibility. He became the divine source of kingship, empire, and expansion. Pharaohs claimed legitimacy through him, and temples dedicated to Amun grew immensely wealthy and powerful. Amun's evolution shows how Egyptian religion adapted to political change. Gods did not vanish when power shifted. They transformed. Amun embodied the idea that the most powerful forces shaping reality are often invisible, operating quietly behind everything that appears stable.